I'm hitting record right now. We only got 25 minutes. All right, it's recording.
Hi, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Good. All right, so how's everybody doing this week?
Good. How are you?
Good, I'm well, thank you. Have you guys had a chance to kind of look at the briefs and the information kind of circulating right now concerning our case, more or less? I know the problem is it needs to be a little more specific,
Right.
contextually, in what we're doing on feedback. So, does anybody want to start out kind of maybe discussing that or how people feel about that as a whole?
I think maybe we need to just narrow it, like take one or two things out. Maybe it was too much.
Yeah, I think we definitely were way too broad in our context. I mean, like I said, I think the idea of the Baker Act is really useful, and I think there's a lot of merit to it, but it is very large.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of big pill to swallow contextually as a whole. So yeah, I think we do kind of need to narrow it a little bit. Does anybody have any passion points or any specific areas of with the material itself so far?
From the stuff that I was looking up today, I couldn't find. I think it would be interesting if we talked about the training that mental health workers get whenever, like, they're handling adolescents versus adults. You can't really find much information on it. A lot of the articles I was reading was just talking about, like, how broken the system is in Florida and blah, blah, blah. And I feel like that's a more beneficial route for us to go, just in my opinion, because you can narrow down the questions to ask specifically, like, how do you train these people versus those? And, like, how do you train? But, I mean, I guess you could do that with other things, too. Like, how do you train people to handle different illnesses also? So, I mean, I don't know. That's just what I was looking up today. And I know that she said, like, it's easier if you just create something instead of trying to change something.
Agreed.
So,
yeah, I agree. That sounds way easier.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
But I don't know anything about any of this, so.
Same.
Yeah, I think Scott, whatever you have the most information on, if you want to target us directly to what you found, and then I think it probably might be easier to go from there. Is he there, Scott?
Can't hear you, Scott. For some reason, we can't hear you.
It's kind of muffled.
Still can't hear you, Scott.
Scott, can you, is everybody able to hear everybody else so far? Is there just a technical issue with that so far?
I think it's just Scott that.
Okay.
Yeah, they able to hear people.
Yeah, he left.
May need to call in.
Try to
May
come
need
back.
to call in with the audio thing when he comes back in.
We'll wait a minute with him since he has some of that primary source. But I guess we can kind of talk a little bit more about it. I guess barring that, what do you guys think about kind of utilizing some of that material? I mean, I think it's a really good resource. I think it's a great way to go. And creating, a de novo concept is kind of a nice route, which I think we can do. Maybe we can pair it to a specific age group, or we can, I really like the idea of mental health work training, kind of going through the idea of going through a standardized course, outside of, typical medical practice, for non, physician or hospital, trained affiliates. I think it's important that, maybe there's police regimen that we could maybe talk a little bit about, or, law enforcement or private security, something involved with that involves, them transporting X individual into said camp. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, and I feel like it would be pretty easy to like come up with our own type of training and figure out how to like come up with a policy related to that. I feel like that's like a really good route to go.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think that's a good way to go too. I'm definitely on board with that. Any other thoughts from other people about that? Because I think that's a great jumping in point. If we definitely add as kind of a background, So
go with the training.
I guess we just need to figure out. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I'm good with training.
Okay, I was just I was trying to play around with like the sentence that she wants and figure out like how to word it without putting a solution in. So I guess we just need to figure out that for sure during this meeting. That way, were y'all able to get on that Google Docs? Because I've never done that before. So
I haven't tried it yet. But on the top of this assignment, is she? Because I know that she left us a note. It says one sentence description of our policy problem. So she wants us to do that again, I'm guessing. So now we can fix it. I'm wondering if,
yeah, I think.
I think so.
Okay, because I don't know if she wanted like a different one or not, but okay, that works.
It's just that one kind of a quick synopsis of what we want the problem to be.
Okay.
So, I think since if we want to tier it towards training, I think that's probably a good way to go, especially.
Yeah. I think training would be good because there's a lot of things. Since we're making up the training, it doesn't have to be like just based off of what's already in place, and we can just come up with our own stuff, like you were saying. And that way, she can't really say, "Oh, well, we don't know this, but this is the solution." This is like we're making a solution for it. So.
Sure. No, that makes sense.
Okay. I guess we can work on the Senate first, I guess, just to get that out the way, because that's where probably most of our points are going to come from, I would say. Since that's something that we did miss it by a little bit last time. Because this project only seems like it's like, tonight is only like 5 points, I think, just looking at the rubrics. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, well, let's jump in on that then. Anybody want to start us out, or any ideas? Anybody want to take a lead on that?
I'm pulling up the Google Docs right now. 1 second.
Perfect.
All right.
I think Scott's trying to talk, but we still can't hear him. Yeah, we can't hear you.
Okay, yeah.
God, turn your audio on. Like, there should be a button where you can, hold on, let me see. If you go to, like, the 3 little dots where it says more on the bottom right, it should be something that says connect audio or disconnect audio. Hopefully it comes in.
Can't hear you, Scott.
Lack of training.
I don't know what it is. That's weird.
Okay. Well, Scott, maybe if you type it into the chat message if somebody has readily access to that, that'd be great.
Also, are you connected to Wi-Fi? Because if sometimes it may not work if you're not connected to Wi-Fi. Like, because I'm on my phone. You are? Oh, okay. I don't know.
Yeah, I think traditionally, Scott, your audio always too even was giving us like a little, I don't know, like a distorting background. So I think it's a bad setup.
Okay.
Or do you have your whole laptop on mute?
All right, so you guys want to just work on this sentence?
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, let's get this. So right now, as it stands, it says.
How about if
I make somebody else the host? I just walked in from New Orleans. I don't have, for some reason, I don't have internet. So I'm on my phone. I'm wondering maybe if it's just...
No, because everybody else can hear.
Because I keep getting kicked out and it's sending me back in and out.
Yeah, I'm on my phone too, but no, it's...
Me too.
It's,
Okay. And that's why I'm not on Google Docs right now. I'm just taking notes on a document, and I can add in stuff after.
yeah, that's fine. All right, so I guess the person who most readily has Google Docs in front of them right now, do you guys want to just jump in, maybe start talk about it out loud, discuss it, so to speak?
Sure. All right, I have Google Docs open. Are we talking about, all right, so the one sentence problem as it stands, the definition, it says, lack of training and funding for adolescent mental health facilities continuum of care. It is pretty wordy.
Right, that's not so much a question.
Right.
It's a statement. So I think if we phrased it more or less as in, so what would a problem be more or less? So a problem might be, for example, what lack of resources are leading to a lack of funding, to that effect? Or,
Well, are we talking about lack of resources and funding? See, I think this is where I keep getting confused because I don't know like what parts of this we integrate into the whole picture,
Right.
I feel like since we haven't seen the final assignment, it's hard to really figure out what we're supposed to do now.
I think she wants us to choose like one part of that.
One part. Okay.
Right. So, like, for example, no formal training for mental health for adolescents.
Right.
Like it's got to be like there's no structured. So the problem is there's no guideline or way to handle adolescent kids who suffer with mental health.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Like,
should we put like in Florida, comma, that way it like outlines
Yeah.
what we're discussing too?
I believe so.
And then
So maybe like lacks consistent training.
oh yeah, that's a good word.
Right.
And as far as ages, do we want to get specific on the ages we were looking at, or you just want to leave the word adolescent, or do you want to be specific on the ages?
Yeah. See, this is where I wish Scott could tell, because this was more, since he personally went through it, he was our lead in person. Because I believe he said his son was under 17 and under. I just don't have confirmation with his audio being out. That's why if he.
Okay, but that's why I was asking, because there's a difference between like a 8-year-old and a 16-year-old. You know what I mean?
Correct. Or if we just put teenagers, like something specific, like but then that's 13 to 19. So I don't know. We just need
Could we
Scott.
say like in Florida, mental health workers receive similar training regardless of like department or regardless of
regardless of the needs, maybe like the training is not specific to the I don't know how to
Age
word it.
demographic.
The Florida lack consistent training for minors.
Minor.
Right. I
During,
we should definitely like try and gear an age group when we say minors versus adolescents. We need to define what that would be. So a minor more or less would be anyone at the age of 18, or an adolescent might be someone like 15 to 18 or 14 to 18, something like that.
Yeah, I like minors.
I think minors is safer. It's a broader group.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Only one last thought, or I don't know, just throw it out there, or high school. I mean, then we're in the limited range of. So I don't know. With Scott apparently had a bunch of what happened in paperwork, and I believe his son was in high school.
at least if
Yeah,
it did pass high school too, it would be like you could go even further back to like trauma in kids that are 10 and under. I mean, because that's a completely different kind of training too. Because high school kids, I feel like you deal a lot with hormones and stuff like that, and younger, you're dealing more with like more emotional parts of people, I guess. I don't know how to word what I'm saying, but well, y'all.
No, right. We could. I mean, that would be very easy to do if we want to say, adolescents.
Minors.
We could say minor groups, including XYZ, and by that XYZ,
Right.
I mean the time scale. So like 8 to 10, 10 to 12, something like that. I know with Scott's data that gives a little more specificity, at least as far as that case is concerned. But again, do you guys have a specific age range that kind of interests you? 8 to 10, 10 to 12, something like that? Or, and I don't mean that specifically, just something of that nature.
I am back. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, thank God. Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you.
Finally.
We only got 10 minutes, Scott, so you got to keep it short. We just need to, you want to pick an age range because we got 10 minutes, but right now we only have 15 minutes of recording to submit.
I think adolescents, like 12 through young adult, I think, because a lot of the stuff that I have, like the information that I've already got will fit. I love the training. I definitely think we need to include law enforcement officers. And again, one of the caveats we can put in there is training for law enforcement officers and educators. Have them trained so they can assess special needs kids, because every kid's different. So I think it's a better target. It's low hanging fruit if we go the adolescent route.
All right. Do you have a sample sentence topic to sum it all up that we've been working on?
Okay. How about we are something to the effect that examining policy that will provide more beneficial outcomes for adolescents. Stronger mental health outcomes for adolescent aged. Something like that. You get what I'm saying?
I know what you're talking about, but for her, I guess, since she may not even listen to the whole recording, like something that just like gets her and like, okay, like just look at it like this. If you're just walked into the legislator's office, that sentence has got to tell them what's the problem and
the
statement.
Of Florida's policy regarding the Baker Act
okay.
to be revised so that it in order to ensure adolescent age and special needs children are being appropriately assessed and committed. Or is that too windy?
It's pretty windy.
I think it's a little long-winded. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still like I think the consensus is we.
I'm sorry, I can't speak.
No, that's I think the consensus with all of us as a group is like we want to go from the passion project, but you almost have to narrow it for us because I know you personally went through and all the whirlwind, and our teacher's probably like, okay, I kind of know what you're going, but not like Cyrus was saying, specificity. So it's just like it's almost like if you tell us what target area you want to go at and then tell us what we need to do, it might flow a little better.
Okay. Adolescents and better and providing training so the stakeholders are able to adequately assess the mental health of this population.
Okay. That's what I'm thinking, the assessment, the upfront assessment.
Okay.
Exactly, because that's where there's the most breakdowns in the system. Kids being Baker acted when they don't need to be. I saw a bunch of articles in it over the weekend when I was reading it, so I think that's a good way to approach it. We can touch law enforcement, educators, other people in the communities that are allowed to initiate the process.
All right, so keywords we need in the state of Florida, assessment training for adolescent mental health assessments. Somehow we got to we just all got to type it in Google Docs and pick one out of the 13 sentences that looks the best. Like all maybe put in a sentence.
The problem
But that states the problem, huh?
I'm just kind of. I don't know. Does that or the solution? Which one? We're not supposed to state what part of it. So
we're supposed to put there is
solution?
no. So I think we should put there's no assessment training. There's no training. I don't know. I think we all need to just put our best. We all put a sentence in there and
I think that's fair to say that, that's, yes, there is no currently adequate assessment training for the given population. That's the problem, right?
Right.
Right, because she doesn't want us to put the solution, and the solution
Correct.
would be training. So we
Right.
kind of maybe need to pull that out and put Florida. Let me think. It was just in my brain.
Non-existent.
Florida law enforcement workers and educators are unable to adequately assess adolescents for mental health.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's the one.
I like that.
That's the one right there. That's the one.
That's gonna make the minds wonder.
Yeah, that's the one right there.
That's it. Yeah. Good job.
Yeah, we said law enforcement officers.
Law enforcement and educators.
Educators, yeah.
Do we want to do mental health workers too, or keep it at law enforcement officers and educators?
Well, we can definitely, that brings up a good point. We need to, it's the people doing the intakes, the first responders. Once a child does get committed, those people weren't trained very well at all. And,
Well, I was thinking, because I was looking at like some of the stakeholders earlier, and if we were able to I know we each have to pick two or whatever, but if we were able to talk to more of like the facility people, like I found quite a few mental health facilities in Florida and thought about just seeing if we could talk to a secretary, anybody. So that kind of gives us more room and more people to talk to, because we might have a hard time. Grant, that's just my opinion though. I mean, whatever y'all think is fine with me.
No, that's great. I've already compiled like 3 or 4 stakeholders. People that we can reach out to, people that I've actually already talked to about this process. So we're going to be able to sound like we're really digging into it, and just the stakeholders. We want to talk to families. I think some of the education also needs to be targeted to families as well, parents and family members and guardians of these patients. So it's kind of like a broad spectrum of education.
So could we say then in the state of Florida, there is currently a lack of assessment training for those, I don't want to say associated with.
I would just say
those words count back.
I would just say mental health facilities / personnel. Then that includes the law, everybody, right? Anybody affiliated with.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
Or like for first responders.
Yeah.
First responders.
First responders are the ones that need to, they need that assessment training.
Okay.
Like dealing with adolescents.
Depending on the age, social workers too. It just kind of depends, like what the situation is at home, like what So that they could be something. Anybody, I feel like in the behavioral health bracket as well. So that would be something that we can look on. I'm sure we can find a lot of stuff online with that, with like academic journals and articles, like when it comes to behavioral health. So we can kind of add on to that.
Too, but we do need to kind of keep it within a certain realm.
Right.
We don't want to get too
Yeah.
All right. So let me say this. I think this will help everybody, because maybe in my brain, I think the problem is, since we're college, we're so used to writing papers. We're like, if you put like personnel, for example, you can talk about first responders, then how law enforcement goes into it.
Right.
We're so like into like breaking it down, where I think this is just like one part, but it's hard to know the completed outlook with just going week by week, so I think we're doing too much, but it seems like what we submit is too little.
Right.
So now I have Florida law enforcement officers, educators, and other first responders are unable to adequately assess adolescents during mental health crisis.
It's a little wordy. I think we just got to narrow it a little.
Yeah, is there a way we could say just like those
Maybe just first responders.
Yeah, just first responders, or
I would just say first responders.
Yeah, that way is, because she wants it very specific.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm down with the first responders.
Yeah.
So Florida first responders are unable to adequately assess adolescents during mental health crisis. So we're not saying our solution.
Right.
Right.
No solutions.
No solution.
Simply the problem very succinctly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so somebody help me out. I'm confused. Christy, are you in the Google Doc?
No, not right now. I'm just taking notes on the side and I'll add it in.
Okay.
Okay, so I take off
Unless
Google Doc.
typing. Right. I've been in New Orleans for 10 days and I came home to no internet, so I don't know what happened.
Are we? So excuse me. Are we all gonna just drop our questions on the Google Doc so that way we can kind of pick before Sunday, before
Yeah.
the turn-in day, or like maybe have it done by Saturday so that way, if we'll know what questions we're choosing, so that at least we'll all be on the same page when it's turned in.
Right. Yeah. If everybody gets
Okay.
basically in maybe by like 5 p.m. on Sunday, on Saturday, I think that would be best.
Yeah. How many questions should we all just put in one, right?
Yeah, probably. That sounds fun.
It only needs
5.
Yeah, I put in
Cause
one. Nothing more than that.
okay, because it says potential questions to ask stakeholders, and she said at least 5. So if it's 11 of us, we'll find at least 5. So.
And Scott, since you may already know the answer to some, Scott, you'll be, after you see us, you'll know which ones we already have the answers to, kind of, right? Or I think that was a yep, but okay. I seen your lips move, but I can't hear you.
I'll try to make like the thing that she has in there as the example, the graph thing. I'll try to put that in here, tweak it, see if I can do that so that we can each put our 2 stakeholder ideas.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll work on it. I'm not very good with this stuff.
Okay. And maybe
I don't mind
we
doing
can make. Maybe you can make if hers doesn't work, you can probably make another one on like Word, because you can like get like the boxes and then make it the size you want. That way everything.
That's
will fit.
true.
You can copy hers and then we'll just look at hers and you can just make the boxes. It'll probably be easier that way instead of trying to expand it or like crop it.
You're right. Okay, I'll try that.
Just use Word. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. Let me know.
Thank you.
If you need help, I'll help you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I just had a quick question. So I saw on her feedback, she stated she didn't know how we got the number affected. So with that, how are we gonna, in this assignment, is there a way we can specify the population we're trying to talk about? Like, I don't understand her feedback on that.
Scott got the number. I think we just need a reference, right?
Yeah, I didn't annotate it, but I can do that, and I can even break that down further. We can by age groups. I just got to do a quick Google search, and I can go ahead and we'll have that too. That's my fault. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. I just want to make sure we fixed it just in case, so she wouldn't have no reason to dock off any points the next time.
Right.
I know someone mentioned this in the chat just now. Can we say training in the sentence? Or no, we didn't say it, did we?
No, we can't because that's our solution.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think Christy had said it in what she read. I just can't remember.
Yeah. I'm kind of, if I know I've been in and out, but it seems like our main thrust, our main idea is that currently the current assessment processes and practices in place now, they need to be improved. This is how we're going to do it with education. Did I hear everything correctly?
I got it as the first responders really don't know how to assess adolescent mental health. That's what
Yep.
That's our problem, right?
Yeah. To me, that's at the very bottom line. That's what it is.
It's like a firefighter run into a house and he doesn't know the first thing to do. Like he's just yelling. He's like,
exactly.
Okay. All right. So
Trying to stop that real quick. Scott, we know for sure that there isn't like any type of training right now in place for everybody across the board, right? I don't know. I'm trying to research it, but
The sheriff's office does have. They've got minimal training, and they're responding to all age groups. You know, the Baker Act affects, so they're not getting specialized training or focused training for adolescents and those with special needs.
right, okay.
I think they're not getting any. They're as of a year and a half ago, that still did not exist. They get the cursory training, like, hey, ask these questions. If they say yes to them, they can be Baker acted.
Okay, and like now that our focus is probably going to be the first responders. I mean, I'm sure they get trained to an extent, but like, should we research that real quick to be sure that their training is kind of like, you know, not as thorough as it should be, kind of thing?
Yeah, I can actually find out, because how I found this out by when I was talking to one of the captains, the captain of patrol for the Alachua County Sheriff's Office, and he's like, they actually wanted me and my wife to come in and do training, because he said their training, they're not equipped, especially when you have special needs kids. Children need to be communicated in a completely different way that you would communicate with an adult.
Right. Definitely.
So that would be a good focus of training, and I can try to call or gather up some resources and data and let you all know. I'll throw that up on the doc as well.
Yeah, that'd be really great. I mean, that'd help kind of guide us a little bit too. Should be helpful. Sure.
All right, guys, it says less than a minute. How do you guys want me to do this audio recording? Submit it to the email or just send it right to her?
You can send it to the email again, and
okay.
I'll just do it through YouTube just to be sure.
And then you'll upload it through YouTube, or do you want me to send it?
I'll do it through YouTube,
okay.
And then I'll add it on Moodle.
Okay. Last week I had to edit it because of the last 2 minutes, so sorry. I think I hit submit, but I had to take out a few things.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
You got it.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'll upload this now.
All right, thank y'all so much. So yeah, if everybody can get those 2 questions or a piece in by Saturday at 5, great. That'll give everybody kind of a chance to take a look at it before it's edited. Whoever.
And meeting has ended. I am stopping recording now.